track, bitch.
Hey.
Hello.
What's up, dog?
Oh, I know nothing. Cat just made a weird noise. She did a weird meow and sprinted off.
Yeah, what do you think she was trying to say?
I don't know.
Motherfuck the police! Just walked off.
It did sound like she went like, ACAB.
yeah. Your cat was definitely saying ACAB for sure. That's a pretty cool cat. Pretty based cat.
Oh yeah, pretty based cat.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty swell. Well, what the hell, you know? Enjoying life, doing drugs, hanging out, doing some more drugs, smoking a drug, snorting a drug, injecting a drug. That's all I do. Drugs.
Hells yeah.
Yep.
Drugs.
Especially while I'm driving a postal van. That's all I do is drugs. I mean, technically, I'm always on drugs, like, because I take the maximum dose of the Adderall XR, and it's prescribed, you know, because I have kind of severe ADHD, and so you know that kind of sets my head right. You know what I'm saying? Sets my head right, makes me straight. But yeah, and then when that wears off at the end of the night, I like to come home and take a nice bong rip.
Hells yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bong rip.
So I'm always on a substance of some sort, whether it be meth or weed or any of the other substances that I may or may not use. Probably not. I probably don't use any other substances. A wink. A wink. I'm saying a wink. A wink. Yeah, you know, that's about all life is right now. It's just drugs. I'm in a drug spiral. Not really.
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, with the election results the way it is, I can understand why.
Yeah, I did actually like hit up my dealer like right after the election. I was like, oh, I'm gonna need some drugs for this.
Give me whatever you got.
Yeah, my dealer's so nice. Just like I go to buy one thing and he just gives me like samples of everything he has, and I'm like, cool. He's like, hey, check it out. I just got all these cool drugs. And I'm like, all right. And he's like, do you want some? I'm like, I mean, how much? He's like, no, I'm just giving you some. And I'm like, yeah, all right. I'll take your drugs, brother.
I'll take all of them.
Yeah. So I got a little collection going, a little drug lection. Because I don't do drugs that often.
You vote for drugs.
I do vote for drugs. That's who I voted for in the election. It was a write-in. It was drugs with Joe Biden as vice president again.
I voted for Hillary because it's her time.
Oh, it is definitely her time of the month. You know what I'm saying, bro? Misogyny. Yeah. Pretty good.
That's how it happens.
Yeah, so the election happened. Trump is our president-elect yet once again. On this podcast, I think I speak for us when I say we don't feel great about that. No, I mean, I wouldn't have felt good about Harris getting in, but I feel worse about Trump. So,
yeah, that was. There was like 20 million less voters for that participated, which I think is insane.
Yeah,
and but I mean, it's like there wasn't much that either side was really offering that appealed to anybody. It's like status quo or like, but yeah, and I know like a lot of people were saying, the people who did go for Trump were saying you're doing it for the cheap groceries. I
don't think grocery prices are going to go back down. I don't think that's going to.
No, they're not.
That's going to happen.
Especially when he's like, Trump's plan is to, you know, like increase the tariffs and shit, and you know, and that's another cost that's going to be passed on to the consumer, not the. Right. not the people who are actually producing.
Yeah, because it's not like businesses are just going to repatriate manufacturing to the United States of America. We don't like really have that labor force. Like it's a novel concept, and I like the idea kind of, but it's like in practice it's pretty daffy, and it's not going to work.
No, it's not, and especially, you know, if it were to do its intended thing, where as you're saying, like bring back American jobs, that's something that has to be. It's going to take time. It's not like we can immediately match the supply chain that come from overseas immediately for, you know, the hogs, you know, and like people to still get their treats on time, you know, and
right,
and then do American manufacturing.
Yeah, like this. If this happens, this will like crush Amazon. Like, yeah, Amazon thrives on like cheap shit made in the third world, and if there's tariffs on all their goods,
also like, I kind of think maybe not in a way. I don't know, because like Jeff Bezos was a big supporter of Trump, so like
a shadow supporter. He just didn't.
He could have. He did have like a tweet thanking him, like celebrating him. So it could be like, you know, they could have some sort of like deal set up where. He's not going to be like, it's not going to affect him.
Yeah, I mean, he did make the decision to not let the Washington Post endorse Kamala, and so, you know, one must wonder if that was in order to curry favor with Trump.
Yeah.
Because Washington Post, famously, I think the last two times, as they've been under the ownership of Jeff Bezos, have supported not Trump, so them not endorsing a candidate this time was actually kind of a big deal, at least in the news cycle. I don't think Americans actually really give a fuck who newspapers endorse.
No
one. I mean, no one gives a fuck about any of the like the tomfoolery, like the fucking analysts and the poll watchers and shit like that. Like no one gives a fuck about that shit. I mean, people do give a fuck, but it's all like the same people, the same kind of people who are already like, you know, analyst types and are probably going to be voting like Democrat anyway, you know. Like the people who listen to the 538 podcast are like the same people who listen to like Pod Save America, you know. Yeah, a lot of crossover.
They'll still be, they'll be eating good the next 4 years, I guess.
I guess so. So we're here to talk about some Star Trek today, but first, let's talk about our Patreon. Did you know we have a Patreon, Pat?
I did, actually.
You definitely do. It's over at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. What's Dumb Idiot BS, you might ask? Well, that is the name of the company that holds all of our podcasts, including The Media Dungeon, which is our movie review podcast. Also the one you're listening to, Soy Trek, our Star Trek podcast. We got Prison Breakdown, which is a show about prisons that I produce and is hosted by a couple professors. So, yeah, and then some defunct podcasts that we won't mention. But you know what? You know what you get? Do you know what you get, Pat, for $2 a month?
What do you get?
Well, you get all of our episodes in one place, including our backlog of tons of special episodes for both Soy Trek and Getting Head of Bucket Cast. We've also, we've got, you can vote every week on what we watch on either Soy Trek or the Media Dungeon, depending on if we have a new Star Trek or not that week. You get to get episodes in higher quality than you will everywhere else. You get to help keep us editorially independent and ad-free, which I think is a pretty cool thing. And you get to support an independent creator, I think that's a pretty cool thing. I think that's a really cool thing. I think that's the coolest thing you could possibly do.
That's super duper.
It's so super duper. And, for $5 a month, we give you a shout out.
You won't be paying any tariffs on that shit.
No, yeah, it's definitely American. So if you're in America, that is. If you're elsewhere, perhaps you will be paying large tariffs on our content. Who knows? Who knows if they'll have digital tariffs? That'd be wild. So we say thank you to people who pay us $5 or more a month. People just like Professor David Craning Seitz, Electric Baphomet, Dandy Leone, Beefleg, Teddy, Jody, Shrimp God, Shane Williams, Sam Mayo, Lock Fanile, Skeptic, Gillian McCrary, SFC Punk, 7 of 9, Star Trek Enjoyer, D. Riker, Ethan Adams, Iggy, Abigail Simpson, Vinny, Phil McCavity, Danny, Dylan Lance, Jordan Hale, Elizabeth Hearn, Luna Dahlia, Former Twink, Nathan G, Papa Poison, Awful Star Trek Drawings, Jose Martinez, Gabe Siciliano, Gursky, Jormore, Kyle Simmons, Nick Savard, Shane Sawyer, Anthony Cabrera, Seb, Robert Yolito, Asher Pliskins, and our good friends over at the Hate Speech Podcast. Go check those guys out. They're pretty rad. Ooh. Hell yeah.
Check them on out.
Nate and Tyler making content about stuff and shit, man. For $10 a month, you get access to the motherfucking Media Dungeon. What'd I say?
The Media Dungeon.
The Media Dungeon is my private server with over 20,000 films, over 1,700 shows. Just so much to choose from. So much content. A world of content. A world of weird old films. There's over 500 films on there that were only ever released on VHS, and they can only be accessed on a place like my private server. So lots of cool, weird, spooky, cool shit up on that. Check that out. That's $10 a month.
That spooky shit.
And then $20 a month, you get access to monthly merch offerings. So I make shirts, I make stickers, I make pins, I make all types of stuff. I think this month I'm gonna do something nice and warm. Maybe send out a crew neck of some sort to the folks. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, just in time for Christmas.
Hell yeah, brother. So yeah, that's $20 a month. That's all available at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs, patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. And we really thank and appreciate everyone who supports us. We love you. We appreciate your support.
We love ya.
Yeah. So, with that said, what's going on, Donkey Kong?
Living the scream.
Do you think like Donkey Kong, like what do you think he like originally kidnapped like Princess Peach, like, or Daisy or whatever? Was it, I mean, was it a sexual thing? Was it to be like his sex slave? Was he?
Well, I think he was like modeled after King Kong, and King Kong also had fallen in love with, a white woman, and like took her and held her captive.
How's that even gonna like work? Like, because like primates are like very sexual beings, and Donkey Kong's got even though like gorillas don't have very big dicks, just due to his size, he's got to have just like a 5 foot long penis,
Oh yeah,
which is just not gonna.
It's like that scene in The Boys where she has to crawl inside of it.
Right. Oh, right. That's actually a good point. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
She just crawls in there and like dances around, or she just like goes up his butthole and just like starts punching his prostate.
Right.
Just like hitting it like a speed bag.
Yeah.
And then she just sit on that toe.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So that's cool. Donkey Kong is a weird thing. I watched like a 3-hour documentary on how Billy Mitchell cheated on Donkey Kong for the world records. You familiar with that story at all?
Yeah, like I actually saw King of Kong in theaters. It was
wild. Good. Yeah, I saw that in a theater too. Like, but it was like 6 months after it was released. But it was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was decent. It was good. Like, but yeah, like Billy Mitchell it's pretty funny. I think he was also like he had a that cartoon Regular Show. They depicted Billy Mitchell as well in that. He was like a giant head with like little arms attached, and I guess he ended up suing that show for depicting him as like this like cheater at a video game.
That's fun. Yeah, that's good. Regular Show is fun.
Yeah, he's just like a lifelong hater.
Yeah, that dude sues everybody. He is definitely a fucking professional hater. And I professionally hate him. He's a real piece of shit, that feller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he should.
He's a big ass piece of shit.
Yep. Yeah, he should suck a Christmas or suck a dick ornament off a Christmas tree. You know what I'm saying? Straight off the Christmas tree, brother.
Straight off, like suck every single ornament off.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, so we're here today to talk about some Star Trek. I think you know. Star Trek Lower Decks specifically. We are on the final season 5, episode 4 of 10. So we're almost halfway through this final season. It's sad. We'll be sad to see it go, but here we are, living in this world. World turns. You know what I'm saying?
World squirms.
World squirts. I'm gonna make the world squirt. I'm just gonna hook my fingers and go. Use my forearm. World's gonna squirt all over.
Well, Mount Rainier is a volcano and was supposed to explode a while ago.
Yeah.
And so maybe it just needs to squirt. That's how you're gonna make the world squirt. By,
I like
shooting liquid magma.
I like to think of volcanoes as like the world's pimples, right? And they just like need to pop, and so they pop and like go all over the place, and then they're like on their face forever, which is a weird thing. It's weird how volcanoes do that, you know. They like make new land, kind of.
That movie Fire of Love taught me more about volcanoes than I ever thought was possible.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I realized there's 2 different kinds of eruptions. And I was just like,
3 if you count Van Halen's eruption. Or both of Metallica's Load albums, Load and then Reload. Why would I count those as eruption?
Some eruptions.
What?
Because like there was cum on the first on load,
Right.
and then a turd on reload.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And why would you consider these eruptions?
That's my Metallica facts.
I know, but
like
okay. Anyway, so continuing on. We're here today to talk about Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5, Episode 4, A Farewell to Farms. This one was released on November 7th, 2024, which is today. And it's the 44th episode of Lower Decks and the 942nd episode of Star Trek overall. This one was written by Diana Tay in her first credited episode of Lower Decks, having previously written for Crapopolis and an episode of Pen 15, which I heard was pretty good.
15. That's a good show.
Yeah, nice. This one was directed by Megan Lloyd, who is a member of the art department and director of 4 episodes of Lower Decks so far, including I Have No Bones Yet I Must Flee, and Pathological Fallacies, and Caves. So, yeah. All right, so we ready to jump in?
Let's jump on in there.
I'm gonna take a sip of this Diet Coke first.
Polar bear club it. Oh, Diet Coke break. Chuck.
That was good. Oh, almost too good. All right, so we open on Kronos, the Klingon homeworld, and a Klingon named Mok from, I think, last season. Was it last season or season 3? I don't recall. I think it was last season.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I think he was in a couple episodes, wasn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. So,
yeah,
he's fighting a Targ on a farm. His brother makes fun of him, and Mok says that one day he will return to battle and glory in his captainship. Suddenly, he gets a call on his phone, and he ignores it. We get like the superimposed credit scene instead of like the actual like credit scene, which is awesome. Actually, I really enjoyed this scene a lot. It's like a montage scene, and the song, instead of like the big bombastic orchestra version, it's like a really solemn version, like played on a lonely horn. It's like it reminded me a lot of like the opening of Star Wars, like A New Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Star Wars. It's pretty great.
It was very surprising, but I did love it. Like I was like watching it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss this show. Like it's just like it does so much, and it's just sad. It's just like I feel it's taken before its time. Yeah,
it is. But 5 seasons is a pretty good run for an animated show. You know, that's pretty high production cost. So, and honestly, like this episode looked great. I don't know if you noticed, but the animation was fantastic. Like above the cut of normal. But there's like a montage of Mok working, and it's pretty awesome with the credits superimposed over it. And then Mok throws his phone into a field. But then he gets a call from Mariner on his view screen, and his brother answers and asks why the human is calling him. So,
I like his brother. His brother's just like, yeah, he's just like a kind of just like a Klingon hick.
Yeah.
Like it's like with one of the overall straps just hanging loose and no shirt underneath, and he's fine. Just
he's a big Lenny. He's a big Lenny.
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely a big Lenny. I contend the Targs.
Okay, Lenny.
Okay.
So the Klingon brothers are going on a delivery, and they crash their ship due to some decorative bones on the front, which I thought was pretty funny. They go into the bar, and the bar owner is mad that they're late, and a woman approaches Mok and says she's heard he's been given command, which flusters him. She lays it on thick on him and like tries to get real romantic, even after she finds out he was stripped of his captaincy. for allowing his crew to mutiny, which was on last season. They're about to kiss, but then Mariner and Boimler walk into the bar and ruin the moment for him. She's like, "You cavort with humans? Ugh!" and walks away.
And Boimler's mustache is coming in nicely.
Oh, it is. His beard is kind of coming in, but yeah, he definitely has a mustache.
Yeah.
So
Purple stash.
Purple
is his natural hair color.
Yeah, you think the carpet matches the drapes?
I'm gonna guess that you're gonna have to consult the Rule 34 that exists of lower decks.
Oh, that
online.
definitely exists. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, we got to look at this right now. We're gonna consult.
Yeah, why don't you look and give us an answer on Boimler? Because I'm gonna guess they did. Like he definitely has.
He doesn't have pubic hair in anything I'm seeing so far. Well, here he is topping a ransom. That's pretty interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Here he's getting fucked, presumably by Rutherford, but it's like in a bunk bed, so you can't see whose face it is. But yeah, that's got to be Rutherford. Oh, here's one. Here's a comic where he has some pubic hair, I think.
Okay.
Is it, no. Yeah. Okay. No. Not really. He just doesn't have pubic hair on like any of these. He's like that sort of twink.
I think they're too afraid to like make that commitment, because I guess that has to be like canon, and they're afraid to make that assumption. It needs to be confirmed by an official source before they can draw him with purple pubes.
Well, I think there was that episode where he like opened up his butthole, right? Remember that?
Yeah, but it was blacked out.
It was blacked out, but like you still couldn't see like any pubes whatsoever. So he might just not really have like pubes.
That could be something that they've eliminated.
He could be he could be a smooth twink. Like if I could have my hair removed in the future, I absolutely would. And there's a lot of fucking Rule 34 here.
So it has to be something that they added recently, because we've seen Riker shirtless. We've seen Data's arms. Data's a very hairy man, and so if hairlessness exists in the future.
All right, I just found one of T'Lyn as a trans woman. The meaty cock.
Wow.
Having a good cum. It's hell yeah. We love trans T'Lyn.
Well, if anyone can find any of that stuff, any of the Boimler Rule 34 that depicts him with purple pubic hair, please send it to Brit at SoyTrek on all your social medias.
All my social medias. Please send us. Find all
Facebook,
of my social medias.
Instagram. X, the everything app.
And just send them in comments if you can too, like public comments. I don't want them in the DMs. I want these public. Yes.
Yeah. Tag you in them on post it on your on main, and then tag SoyTrek.
Yeah, please. So, harbored outside Praxon 4 in the Cerritos, Dr. Maglimo is nervous that he's about to meet two of his biggest heroes, who are two food critics, and Rutherford and Tendi are with him. His people invented warp travel in hopes of discovering strange new meals, which I like the idea of, like a culinary culture like that.
Yeah. And strangely, and it's a bird race, and I never really associated birds with like taste of any kind. Like birds always seem to eat whatever. You know, I don't think, like, from what I know of birds, I don't think they even have like sophisticated taste.
These are like bird people, so they might be like a cross between people, like birds and mammals somehow. You know, you know, we don't know how other creatures have developed.
That's true.
So with Mariner, Mock is mad that she's there, but Boimler, who now has a mustache and a little bit of a beard, is just excited to be there since he's going through a Klingon phase. Mariner says she's going to help Mock get his captain's chair back. She's then introduced to Maelor, who's Mock's brother. Mariner says she just wants to return the favor and makes up some kind of human custom in order to justify it, which Boimler backs her up on. Boimler comes over and suggests that Mock impose a Klingon ancient custom whereby he could get his captaincy back. He has to force a council to hear his case, and Mock agrees. So we're back on Cerritos, and the food critics arrive, and they immediately start like naysaying and trashing and just like critiquing everything around the ship. Freeman suggests Dr. Maglimo take over, and the critics are immediately dismissive of him. It's kind of sad. Hate to see it. We love Maglimo.
It's kind of funny how how food critics are never really depicted positively in any sort of like anything really. Like you have Ratatouille, he's the villain basically. You know, you have Chef. Well, he's not kind. I guess he's not kind of in that movie. I guess the food critics trying to help him. Yeah. But you know.
Well, there you go. You found an exception. Well done.
Yeah. Ah, damn it. Damn it.
I'm wrong. I proved myself wrong. Not again.
Again, I proved myself wrong. Time to die.
So, with Mariner, they're led into the council chamber where she sees her old friend Corin, who she addresses as an old drunk. And they're like, don't call him that. He's a war hero. But then he pukes into a fire and greets Mariner and Boimler, who he calls Brimbo, heartily.
Yeah. I lost my shit at Brimbo.
Brimbo was good. Yeah. Brimbo's a good man. She says they violated some treaties back in the day together. The leader of the council denies Mock's appeal, but he invokes the ancient right that allows him to be reinstated through tests of strength, endurance, and sacrifice, which are three very Klingon things. Yeah. But he must have a party of 4 warriors, which is Mariner, Boimler, Mock, and his brother. Whoa, that was a burp.
Baylor begrudgingly joins.
Yeah, he does. Mariner has to bribe him to join. They must first pass the ritual of pain, which Boimler is excited about. Back on the Cerritos, it's dinner time, and the food critics are served the best the Cerritos has to offer, which is like a beef roast with mac and cheese on the side. Looks delicious, to be honest. The critics find it unbearable and chide Maglimo for replicating food instead of making it. One of the food critics performatively faints, while the other calls Maglimo an insult to his people and slaps him. Maglimo's like, no, I deserve it. Maglimo says,
I love that their species name is the colloquials.
Yes.
Like after like the bird like everything organ.
Yeah.
Like they poop, they pee, they have sex with it.
That's cool. We love that. Maglimo says he will be written into the book of the flavorless, but Rutherford suggests he can cook them a dish, which Maglimo thinks is a good idea. What would you cook for bird people?
I mean, I used to, when I had a yard, I would always go out and I would buy like, I would buy the bird feed, and I would always like throw it out there. But like one thing about bird feed is squirrels love bird feed. So
that's true.
During the winter, like I'd throw it out there, and like I got one of those tiny picnic tables, and the squirrels were just all over that shit. So it was like
that's so cute.
Birds
though.
and squirrels fighting over.
That's so cute.
Fighting over food in my front
That
yard.
rocks. I love that.
Yeah.
You created a little ecosystem. That's very cute. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, I thought I was helping the birds and the squirrels out during the winter. You know, they were getting all fat, so it was funny because like it was also cute because like since it was winter, the squirrels would just be burying it for later. And so like after they would get it, and then they would like dig a hole with their hands. So they would like dig a tiny hole and then hide it and then pat it down, and then like just and be saving their food. I thought it was really really interesting. They're just like people.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
We love that. We love a little squirrel saving away food. Successful squirrel. That's very cute.
Mm-hmm.
So where were we here? Rutherford suggests that Maglimo cook the food critics a dish, which Maglimo thinks is a good idea. With Mariner and the others, they do the ritual of pain, which is a thing from, like, I think Star Trek TNG. Worf had to endure it.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's basically...
go through the pain sticks.
Yeah, you walk through a gauntlet of pain sticks with, like, increasing intensity. And you have to, like, make it all the way through and get, like, prodded the entire time you're walking through. So, you know, it's just supposed to be very painful.
It's basically the spanking machine.
Yeah.
Like, you know how like you would, like, everyone would line up, and then you'd have to, like, you know, this especially happened at, you know, family reunions or something, and, like, you know, and so you'd have they would just like make a tunnel with their legs, and you have to crawl through, and then everyone in your family would just be spanking your bare bottom, and then you would
What?
you didn't do that in your family?
No. I don't think that's the
You
thing,
didn't have to
dude.
take off your pants and crawl through the spanking machine.
I think you got abused, Patrick. You should be talking to a professional about this, not to me, dog. Whoa, wait. You didn't have Uncle Fingerbang time? Wait a second.
Yeah, sometimes when, like, you would go through and the uncle, you know, instead of, like, just giving you, like, a open palm, he would put one of the fingers out, you know, and then spank you on the butt. So he would just give you the two fingers instead of a spank.
It looks like you need to wipe a little more, buddy. Like, what the fuck?
Oil check.
Dipstick incoming.
Yep. Got me an oil change.
Christ. What the fuck? I'm gonna have to jack you up and change your tires, boy.
Yeah, he was a mechanic, but he always said he was a mechanic, but I never saw his shop.
Yeah, he was a mechanic, as in Mike and the Mechanics.
Yeah. He was the flesh mechanic.
Totally. So on the Cerritos, Maglimo finishes the hogfish galantine, the most complex dish in the quadrant, and serves it to the food critics, who are skeptical, but then spit it out and think it's bland. They try to have Maglimo arrested and say they will have his entire family banished from the great seating chart. And yeah, they're like, where's the salt? And they're like, it's covered in salt. And I don't know. It's a little suspicious. So
a little suspicious there.
Next, Mariner and the others have to fight a targ. Giant targ, though. It's enormous. Biggest targ I ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
They work together to tie up the targ, but the leader of the council, Barg, says that they...
Yeah, Barg.
Yeah, says they need to trim its nails and express its anal glands. And Mock's brother's like, oh, okay, I've expressed thousands of anal glands. I'll do it. Which is pretty fun. Mariner is like, well, this is obviously your targ. Just hire a groomer. We're not going to do this for you. The leader of the council says it's time for the final challenge, which is to sacrifice a member of his crew. And Mock chooses himself, which is pretty honorable.
Most honorable thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. I choose myself too, but only because like I'm like, oh, I get an excuse? Hell yeah. All right, well, time to go. See you all never. So
they don't even finish the sentence. Like, you have to sacrifice
bang.
like object that's closest. Yeah, bang. An object that's closest to you. Or something. Yeah.
So you have to sacrifice. I choose me. Wait, no, don't. You can't. That's not part of the bang. Mock is taken to die and says he will take his honor to the grave. They plead for some time to discuss the council, and the council allows this and leaves. Mock says his heart isn't in it and doesn't want to captain under Barg, the council's leader. So Boimler says he can still be captain, but not in Barg's fleet. And the other members of the council, who are now on Mock's side, say he only needs 2/3 of the council vote for it to happen. But they still need to deal with how to handle the whole sacrifice thing. So with Miglimo, he's being led to Flavor Prison, where they don't allow butter, which I just loved this whole concept. The crew looks at the critics' recent reviews, and the critics say that everything is bland. So
I do like how it shows like they have like, it seems to be like a YouTube type content that they're making, because it has like, they have like YouTube thumbnails.
Yeah,
as the review, like as part of the reviews.
Yeah, definitely.
They're like, whoa.
So with Mock, he marches in on Barg and invokes the right of forced conscription and goes to do battle with him. The two have a fight amongst fire, and it's like really well animated. Like, this is where I was like, damn, this episode is like definitely like head and shoulders above other episodes of the series. Like, it looks really good.
Oh yeah.
So Barg yields and asks what this is all about. Mock explains that because of the forced conscription, Barg is now a member of their crew, and Mock selects him to die. Barg has been outmatched, but he stabs Mock from behind. Mock calls him a coward, takes the blade out, and then stabs Barg, killing him. And this sequence was awesome. I was like, fuck yeah. This is like violent. Like,
that was pretty sick.
This is more violent than like any other Star Trek, basically, but in like a cool way, like a Klingon way, you know. So
I'm glad they also like, yeah, they're keeping with the Klingon purple blood. So I don't know if you ever did like I think that in that like one episode where Worf and Jadzia have sex for the first time, Worf has like red blood.
Yeah, you forget sometimes. You forget.
Yeah, they forget.
Yeah. So later, the crew and the Klingons are drinking together, and Mariner is successful in her mission to get permission to examine a new black hole in Klingon space, whereas Barg wouldn't let Starfleet go on missions like that. Mock is impressed and needs a ship. Over with Miglimo, they're at the Flavor Prison, and the critics are greeted by being served oysters, which they find delicious. But then the Starfleet crew reveal that they replaced the oysters with replicated poop. And like the lady there smells them like, they're right, it's manure. The critics admit that they lost their sense of taste and couldn't admit it because a cloacon without a sense of taste is no cloacon at all. Miglimo says psychology can fix this, and the food critics agree. So, a win-win for everybody. We love to see that happen.
Yeah.
So
if you could send someone to Flavor Prison, who would it be?
Oh, Guy Fieri. He's run Flavor Town for too long. He needs to go to Flavor Prison. You know, he needs to be held Flavor accountable.
yeah, if you think about it, Flavor Town has to have a flavor prison. So in a way, he almost invented it first.
Right. I mean, he's been the warden.
Unless Flavor Town has such good vibes. Maybe we don't know. Guy Fieri could be a prison abolitionist.
Oh, definitely.
And Flavor Prison couldn't exist, and Flavor Prison probably doesn't exist in Flavor Town.
Yeah.
You could be like, no, nobody goes to prison in Flavor Town because like Flavor Town is a place where there's no crime.
Yeah.
And if there is crime, we work with you.
Mm-hmm.
Make you get to learn how to cook some interesting meals, and you have some good therapy that way.
Right.
Cooking's therapy sometimes.
Hey, this is Guy Fieri. What's up, dudes? Today on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, we're going to Branson, Missouri to check out the Triple Fudge Double Chili Decker Burger. And also, we're going to talk about how to dismantle the carceral state of broken, deep America. Like, cool, dude. Cool, we like that.
God, I would be a guy. I would be a Ride or Die Guy Fieri fan if you did that.
Ride or Guy.
Ride or Guy.
Ride or Guy, brother.
Ride Guy.
Yeah.
Ride
a
Guy Fieri.
Save a diner, ride a guy. So back with Mock and the others, they come back from a successful mission examining the black hole, and Mock says he will start captaining on his ship, the one he uses to deliver blood wine, since it's like the one that Martok started on. And he wants his brother to be first officer, which is really sweet. They say their goodbyes to Mariner, and it's sweet. And then Mock's brother goes to put the bones on the ship. So his brother allows him to have the bones back on the ship. He's like, oh, maybe you're not such a patak after all. But then the bones fall on him, and they can't feel his legs. The end. Yeah, what'd you think?
I love this episode. I was laughing pretty much the entire time. Everyone was so funny. Like, what was it? Bringo?
Mm-hmm.
They called him.
Yeah.
Like genius. Like, I don't know. I mean, I already love like Klingon episodes.
Oh, me too. Yeah. So I was already sold on the fact that like we were getting a Klingon episode, but also a Maglimo episode. Because
also a Maglimo.
I fucking I love Maglimo. Love Paul F. Tompkins. I was gonna call him F. Tompkins Fitzgerald. Yeah, Paul F. Tompkins is absolutely wonderful. I met him. He's a very, very nice man. He signed my copy of Franz Kafka's The Trial. And I gave it to him. I'm like, hey, can you sign this? I don't have anything else to sign. And he's like, well, finally. I thought it was very fun.
And this could potentially be the last we see of Maglimo.
Maybe. I hope not.
Considering it maybe it also kind of looks like maybe he got a job on his home planet, helping those two people out. So
right, he
could that he may not return for the rest of the series, but who knows? We hope he does.
Yeah, we do hope he does. I love his character. But I thought it was an all-around great episode, really good Klingon episode, and really good Maglimo episode contained in a story. It added some lore to Klingon stuff. It's totally believable, but still like played well in comic directions. Yeah, this one is like a solid 9 out of 10 for me. Like, I really like this episode.
Yeah, so I love right from the opening, like it had me. I was just like, yep.
Yeah. From like the opening montage, I was like sold as fuck. I'm like, okay, this is they doing a little bit differently this time.
Like, honestly, like I wish Lower Decks would just be on for 20 odd seasons. It's
Yeah,
like I want it to be like a Simpsons level, maybe 11 good seasons.
right. I mean, King of the Hill.
Like,
Come on,
listen.
you can have like 14 pretty good seasons.
Yeah, King of the Hill's coming back too.
Oh, is it? That's wild.
Yeah, you didn't see that they released. It's also going to. Time has passed normally since the last episode. So like Bobby's now an adult. They released a picture of what Bobby looks like now, and he's like a chef.
Oh
at a
yeah,
restaurant.
okay. I kind of heard a little bit about that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, he belongs in a restaurant. I knew a guy who like acted a lot like Bobby. Wait, we knew a guy. Brian.
Which guy?
Ryan?
Brian is Bobby. Okay, for one, Bobby is not Brian. Brian is definitely not Bobby. Like, Bobby has empathy. He has talent. He has a soul. Brian Brian looks like if Uncle Fester had no charm, or
it looks like if Uncle Fester was into hardcore music. If Uncle Fester went straight edge, like
yeah, if Uncle Fester was into hardcore and Russian Orthodox Christianity. And
did I tell you I went to a Russian Orthodox church with him, or Eastern Orthodox church with him one time? Me and my girlfriend at the time went with him.
Yeah.
That was weird. That was weird, dude.
How'd that go?
Oh, we also went with Jonas. Jonas was there too.
Oh yeah, Jonas. Yeah.
Yeah, Jonas is a good man.
Yeah,
I love Jonas.
yeah, he's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like ultimately, yeah. As I say, yeah, he's Uncle Fester. If Uncle Fester was not funny or charming. And but still had sort of like that grotesque grossness to him, but like another kind of grossness where he would just be like, hey, check out this girl I hooked up with, and he'd be showing you obviously a picture of a sex worker.
Yeah.
It's just like, and I'm like, oh,
okay, Brian.
Congratulations.
why are you showing me Craigslist, Brian? Like,
yeah. And so it's like, congratulations, Brian. And then of course he would jack off in the bathroom. And,
jack off in the bathroom. We're gonna jack off in the bathroom. We're gonna jack off in the bathroom today.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
And what's the last bathroom you jacked off in?
Probably my own. I don't do public restroom type stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not a prevert.
Yeah, I don't jack off in my own bathroom because I live alone. I'm civilized, you know. It'd be weird to jack off in my bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the last public place, well, not even public, maybe a hotel bathroom, like when I was like on vacation with someone. It's probably the last time I jacked off in a bathroom.
Hells yeah.
Yeah.
Cranking it off.
You gotta crank sometimes. Sometimes you gotta crank that horn, you know. Honk honk, honk honk, honk honk. Yeah. So sometimes you gotta shake hands with Benjamin Franklin, you know. Do the
taffy, the saltwater taffy,
the devil's handshake.
I thought that was with you. If you do it to someone else, that's the devil's handshake.
Oh, is it? You might be right.
Jack somebody else off. You know?
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do. I like jacking people off. You know, it's a good activity. People like it. People seem to like it. I feel like hand stuff is underutilized, underappreciated. Like you can do some cool stuff with your hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can also make a hand puppet out of it and say thank you.
That's what I love to do. Is I like to fist people and then pretend they're in my hand puppet. I'm like, Okay, so you're gonna drink the water, then I'm gonna spit it out of my mouth, and then I'm gonna drink the water, and you're gonna spit it out of your mouth. Okay. The key is keeping some water in your mouth when you pretend to drink it. Okay. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, go.
And then be like, I'm stuck.
Oh yeah, definitely. And everyone panics, and I'm like, well, this is the way we are now.
Just kidding.
This is delivering the mail is gonna be hard with you on my hand. Yeah. So that's that.
That's what happened to Charlie's parents and Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, or Charlie's grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't actually like. That's why they're all in bed together, because they had all fisted each other.
They were all just.
And then they're all stuck underneath the covers. And that's why Grandpa Joe, that guy's name was, that was the first time he ever got out of bed. He was like, once he found out he could go to a chocolate factory, he's just like, oh, I can get out of this chocolate pipeline.
Yeah, you're like, take your hand out of my chocolate factory.
Yeah. Yeah, you wrenched it free. It's all pale. It's been up there for so long.
It's pale and raisin. It's like it's been mummified by his asshole.
It's almost translucent. It's so pale. I mean, it's like, ooh, it's been up there for a while.
Yep, that was Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. So yeah, that was that episode. You got anything else to say about it?
Nope. Go watch it.
Yeah, I think that's a great place for us to end it. Thanks for hanging with us, Soyagers. Be well, travel safe. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs, and please like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get podcasts.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye, pizza pie.
Thanks for checking with us. Thanks for checking with us, soy boys, girls, and other worldly beings.
Hang dong and shocker.
Soy,
Soy, soy, soy, soy, soy, soy. Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy.
Come pum 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 pum